Well, welcome to the Revenue Forum webinar. Revenue Forum is a non-profit initiative started by me in 2008. And currently we organize webinars. You're in one. We hold these on Thursdays and on a regular basis, around every other month. We have half-day seminars. We do this in 12 cities in 10 countries. Coming seminars will be held in Copenhagen, Gothenburg and Stockholm on the 10th to the 12th of September. I will give more information about that at the end of this webinar. Every participant from Stockholm, Gothenburg, Copenhagen, please make sure to get the information. We also have whole day events. Now, this is a very unique hybrid event held simultaneously online as well as physically in Stockholm, London and Milan. The coming event is set to be on the Thursday, 30th of January, and it's the largest event for commercial hotel teams. I will tell you more about this after this webinar. The topic of this episode is digital marketing for hotels, some best practices. This is a topic which has my personal interest, as within Tacticon Consultancy, I am the one who takes care of our digital marketing projects. We find an increased interest from independent hotels to invest in digital marketing, and we see that revenue managers are excellent in helping to increase direct revenue, as this is part of finding the optimal distribution strategy. Now, before we present the speakers, some logistics regarding questions and answers. Please feel free to ask us any questions you might have, and we will try to answer them. We might also use these during the discussion forum at the end of this webinar. You will find the Q&A at the bottom or top of your screen. Please make sure your question is directed to all panelists. If you have a question you would like to ask a specific speaker, please state his or her name. The session is recorded and we will send you a link as soon as possible after the event. Now, finally, let's introduce our speakers of today. Our expert panel consists of 4 speakers who will each get 7 minutes to talk. We use a PechaKucha format for this, which means that each speaker has prepared 20 slides, which will change automatically after 20 seconds. Now, being the organizer, let me start with introducing myself. My name is Annemarie Gibanski, and I am founder and CEO for Tacticon Consultancy, which is a consultancy offering revenue management and digital marketing outsourcing. With over 100 properties, we are one of the main revenue management consultancies in Europe. Now over to our next speaker, Christophe Pereira.
Hello, thank you, Annemarie. So I'm Christophe Pereira. I'm a SVP Sales CMEA for Sendine. And today I will be speaking about how to turn digital marketing into revenue. As we know, we have a lot of revenue manager in the room.
My name is Marcus Müller. I'm working for Galvendi, and I will be talking today about marketing real estate-based guest experiences with the concept called dynamic inventory.
I'm Michael Wallersch. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Story Sculptors, which is a digital marketing agency. And what I'm going to be talking about today is what the most important thing to show on social media is as a hotel, and how you can take a different approach from the rest of the market.
And last but not least, my name is Kim Spolén. I'm Regional Director at Clock PMS, and I will talk about digital marketing for dummies in 7 minutes. Let's see how that works out.
Nice. I'm already looking forward to the coming hour. Now, without further ado, let's go to the first speaker, Christophe.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. So as mentioned, I will speak about how to turn digital marketing into revenue. Just to give you some more details about Sendine for the one who are not aware of who Sendine is, but we are a global technology provider for the hospitality industry around 3 main pillars, which are the find, book, grow. We define the find and how as an hotel you can attract more guests. On the book, how can you convert them into a guest, into a direct booker or booking into your hotel. And the grow, we help hotels to build relationship with their guests with various solutions such as CRM, CDP, and also revenue management system. So we are going into these 7 minutes. It's a very tricky exercise, but happy to go it. So let's go. So in today's digital landscape, the average buyer interacts with over 500 digital touchpoints before making a purchase. For hoteliers, this means that your potential guests are engaging with a lot of online content, whether it's social media, review sites, OTI, blog, or meta search engine, long before they land on your booking page. In fact, 72% of users are visiting meta searches through their booking journey, and 99% of online searches happening on Google. So it's clear that being visible across this platform is essential. Question is, are you strategically placing your hotel where travelers are looking at your hotel? To truly elevate your hotel digital presence, it's not enough to just be visible. You need to be strategically positioned. So this starts with connecting your official direct websites into meta search platform, which is pivotal on today's booking landscape. By managing your meta search distribution campaigns effectively, you can ensure your hotels appear at the top of traveler searches. Result is a potential increase in direct booking by up to 30%. One key solution to master your Google presence is also the very new solution, Google Performance Max for travel goals. I will present a bit later. But to increase direct booking, very often is the ultimate goal for hoteliers, and efficiency is the key to achieving it. By centralizing all your digital campaigns into one platform, you can streamline your operation, reducing time spent on manual tasks and maximizing profitability and revenue. Displaying your hotel in strategic placement across meta search, paid search, and all Google channels, and specifically targeting travelers who are ready to book, you exclude OTA competition and increase your share of direct booking. This strategy doesn't just drive traffic, it drives the right kind of traffic, leading to a significant boost in your booking conversion rate. Let's start with meta search. Meta search campaigns are crucial for hotels because they place your property directly in front of travelers at the moment they are ready to book. By appearing across multiple platforms, such as Google, TripAdvisor, Trivago, and many others, you're not only increasing visibility, but you are driving direct bookings. In short, meta search campaigns help you to capture high-intent guests right when it matters most, when they are ready to book. With Sendine DMP, you can display your official rates on 13 different meta search, monitor your campaigns, and choose between PPC campaigns and commission-based model to manage your meta search distribution. I want to speak now about Google Performance Max, which is very new. So this solution allows you to display your hotel across 7 key Google channels. So you will be displaying your hotel on Search, Display, YouTube, Gmail, Maps, Discover, and Hotel Ads with just one simple setup. You will be leveraging Google AI. Performance Max identify potential guests that you may not even know exist, expanding your reach significantly. The AI of Google optimize ads delivery, ensuring that the right message is served to the right guest at the right time, increasing the chance of converting those potential guests into bookings. So let's delve into how Google Performance Max for Travel works. The key here is targeting. Google uses structured data about your hotel, such as location, amenities, star rating, and reviews, to refine its targeting. This means your ads are shown to travelers who are actively searching for property like yours. This approach doesn't just increase traffic again, it's attract higher quality traffic that's more likely to book. The combination of detailed targeting and streamlined ad creation with AI helps you maximize your return on investment and remove any limits in your reach to new guests. The benefits of using Google PMax for travel goal extend beyond just more click and impressions. First, it allows you to reach a highly qualified audience that is more likely to convert to bookings, directly impacting your bottom line. Leveraging Google AI, You can use pre-populated assets, which simplifies campaigns creation and ad management. This all lead to better budget optimization, ensuring that every euro spent on advertising is working as hard as possible to bring in more bookings. Hoteliers who have implemented this approach have seen up to 31 times return on ad spend and an increase of 30% in click and traffic. Important is to be on top of Google. So positioning your hotel at the top of Google search result is one of the most effective ways to drive qualified traffic to your website, no matter if it's a brand campaign or a new PMax for travel goals. With the solution available through our platform, you can easily launch, manage, monitor, and track your search ads campaigns alongside you with other advertising efforts, all within one user-friendly interface. It streamlines your operation, making it easier to keep your campaigns aligned and optimized. By consolidating insights from your search ad and other ongoing campaigns, you can make data-driven decisions. Most important campaigns are, along with the one listed before, are brand protection campaigns. By implementing brand protection campaigns, you ensure that your hotel appears at the top of search results when a traveler is ready to book and looking at your hotel. This not only reclaims your brand online presence, but also helps you regain revenue against OTA and competition. Effective brand protection means your hotel stays visible and top of mind for potential guests, ensuring that they book directly through your website and not through an OTA or worse, through a direct competitors. Now let's look at results with some real-world example of what these strategies can achieve. Rio Hotels and Resorts saw an 87% increase in direct sales after launching meta search campaigns. The Maison Eiffel independent hotel in France experienced a 32% boost in web traffic, while Les Bergeries de Palombagia generate 26% of total booking growth with a combination of meta search and paid search campaigns. Those success stories highlight the tangible benefits of integrating meta search and PMax campaigns for your marketing strategy. So it's not just about driving more traffic when it's come to digital marketing. It's about driving the right traffic that converts into bookings, boosting your revenue and overall profitability. So we are at the end of the 7 minutes. If you have any question, please use the chat. I will be happy to answer them in the chat. Otherwise, you can also contact me via LinkedIn or via my email, which is cpera@sendine.com. So I will hand it over to Marcus now.
Thank you so much, Christophe. And yes, as you said, Marcus, you're next. I hope you're ready.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Marcus Müller. I am from Gauvendi. Gauvendi comes from two Latin words, gaudium, which means joy, and venditio, which means sales. And our mission is really to enable any type of lodging operators to sell and market highly differentiated and hyper-personalized guest experiences for ultimately higher profits. Now, this cannot be really done if we have to think about the way how we manage and think about inventory, our core asset. We call that dynamic inventory. And my topic today is marketing real estate-based guest experiences with dynamic inventory. So let's start. Instead of selling static room categories, we have a new approach that allows us to sell and market the same unit under different names, prices, and availabilities to different customers. This is called dynamic inventory, and it increases revenues by 20% on average for any accommodation business. So first, another clarification on digital marketing. So what do we mean by the word digital? Are we talking about Google AdWords, social media content creation, website design, functionality, SEO, or database engagements with newsletters or digital billboards? Because depending on the channel, the needed skills and activities and ROI can be very different. Marketing was always about engaging the desired target audience through various channels, digital or not. There needs to be a holistic approach for every campaign. Integrated marketing suggests exactly that, to manage various channels in most effective ways to reach your targets. So I prefer to lose the word digital because it can mislead. Now here's some channel considerations for hospitality, all digital, but very different. So of course the Google Suite and all the channels, social media, streaming platforms, Twitch, marketplaces, application, publishers, customer data platforms for direct marketing, or even the new AI chatbot interfaces are important. But before we want to talk about best practices, it's important to consider the business context you're in. According to the Cynefin framework, best practices work well in clear contexts where cause and effect are straightforward. For complicated or complex business environments, best practices might fail you. Now in marketing, cause and effect are always so clear. So it's crucial to understand your business situation. And as a reminder, this graphic here shows us that we need to start with understanding the market before we're doing segmentation, positioning, product and campaign management. Too often we jump into activism, doing what we always have been doing, copying best practices, but not necessarily appropriate to our business context. So we have to ask ourselves, what are we actually selling? So you might say, we're selling a good night's sleep or an experience, but that might be very different from the view of your customers and their respective travel profile, because guest needs and their purchase behavior change completely, subject to why, with whom, and how long they are traveling. And unfortunately, hotels or any lodging operators are always selling the same things, irrespective of guest travel profiles. They're selling, pricing, and managing guest expectation and simplified room categories. So no surprise that the guest reviews are full of comments. After all, what is a standard room? There is no standard guest, right? So dynamic inventory management captures much more emotional trigger points of any real estate-based experience. It's an add-on for modern PMSs and enriches your inventory with a new data structure and new data points. Now, this makes it very powerful for any AI-driven application where data is key. Static inventory, in contrast, means a physical room is fixed to one single category and priced, forecasted, and sold based on that room category. Dynamic inventory decouples the physical room from a fixed category and allows to sell the same room in multiple and different ways for different price points, availabilities, and target groups. Now, with this new approach, you can change your entire marketing mix. You can offer hyper-personalized booking experiences, differentiated distribution and contracting, novel automation, smart room assignments, attribute-based pricing and revenue management, and micro-targeted guest engagement. Now, you can create virtual products, like, for example, family combinations or units next to each other to attract specific family segments, or target customers with dogs, marketing a room product as dog-friendly. Remember, at the same time, those units may also be sold as a different product or as a standardized category. Another application is now you can emotionalize your products, which drive more upsell and revenue and conversions. Our eye tracking research with the University of Fort Wayne confirmed that bookers looking at standard room images focused on price, while bookings seeking for emotional images focused on more information. So to take full advantage of those concepts, hotels have to actually get rid of something. They have to get rid of booking engines and replace them with a sales engine, because a sales engine shows relevant products according to the travel profile, avoiding the paradox of choice. This guarantees more profit, more direct business, and better guest reviews. So now, we can actually do micro and hyper segmentation and can now achieve increase our visibility. For example, Meta offers great customer data points to run those type of campaigns. Google keywords can stick out for different travel profiles, rather than just buying the basic keywords, which all of your competitors are buying as well. So you can transform your distribution strategy in controlled and differentiated ways. Dynamic inventory allows you to position any real estate-based experience optimal in every channel. So if Booking.com wants comparable products with large availability, you can give it to them. If Airbnb wants family and dog long stay products, you can offer that. So after all, the goal of our marketing should be to build brand equity. So reputation and market share increase your digital brand presence, including visibility and impressions and various channels. So with the feature-based native and dynamic inventory concept, you can pivot your total marketing performance. Now, let me show you some examples of how it can be implemented or is implemented. An example is here, the City Central Hotel and small property in the middle of Valencia. They had over 90% dependency on OTAs, and they were running typical keyword campaigns in Google. So by changing the entire approach using our sales engine with micro-targeted campaigns, the direct booking ratio grew to 22% overall. That's a 400 times increase, increased an ADR increase of 40%. Now, another example, the Cornell Inn in Massachusetts had a different problem. They needed to increase their availabilities, and they needed to position them optimal for OTAs. And as a result, they sold even more direct due overall brand visibility in combination with our sales engine. So to put it all together, I like to quote a good friend, Lumina Quicks, from the Crystal Retreat in the Outer Galaxy of Orion Nebula, who said, "To market standardized room inventory demands deep pockets and scale. Marketing dynamic inventory makes you stand out, no matter the size or budget." And with that, I'm completed, I think, my 7 minutes. And yeah, over to you, I would say, and to Michal as the next speaker.
Thank you so much, Marcus. I will have some questions about this, but then before we do, let's see if we are ready for our next speaker, which is Michal Woloch. Did I pronounce it correctly, Michal?
Yes. Does everyone hear me? Does my mic work?
Yeah, we hear you all loud and clear. Go ahead.
You have 5.07 billion people in one arena waiting for you to advertise on them, waiting for you to show them why they should be interested in you, and yet most of you don't even try to take advantage of that. What am I talking about? Well, as most of you already know, I'm talking about social media. Now, yes, I expect all of you that have a somewhat understanding of what social media is to be posting something, but truth is, 99 times out of 100 is just not good enough. But that actually doesn't mean something bad. Quite the contrary. It just means that it's easier to stand out when you're doing it right. My name is Michael Woloch. I am the co-founder and CEO of Story Sculptors, and I've got millions of views on social media. But you don't really care about me. You're just here because of what I can give you. And what I'm going to do is take you with me to dive into the world of social media. Today, I'm going to especially be focusing on Instagram, the most visual platform, which I would deem the most appropriate hotels, and also because it goes very well alongside Facebook, which is the biggest platform. We're going to talk about the importance of a story around your brand, a short overview of the content strategies you could use to your advantage, and the most important thing to know when creating content, alongside with some bonuses from me, and make sure to stick around to the end because I've got a free gift for some of you. Now, let's get started. Before you start doing anything on social media, and I do mean anything, you need to understand what your brand identity is. Otherwise, what you will post will be all over the place and ruin your content's aesthetic, which is extremely important at a hotel. You want to showcase a graceful, elegant, classy feed of pictures and videos, not some random collection of photos and videos that have nothing to do with each other. You want to show your audience what makes your hotel unique. Is it the location? Is it the history? Is it the design, the service? If you want to grow on social media and have the opportunity to make people interested in you, for them to later become your customers, you need something unique about you. Just think about it. Nobody is going to say, "I'm going to this hotel because of their messy Instagram and their unclear story and because I'm not interested in them." And if you have gotten some business through word of mouth, which I really hope you have, there was a reason why somebody recommended you to someone else. Use the reason why people recommend you and focus on showing exactly that. For example, if I say to my friend, the Scandic Continental Hotel in Stockholm has the best service, the best food, and the best overall experience I've ever witnessed, those are going to be the selling points for that person. Use that. Show what makes people talk about your hotel. And I want you guys to write this down. Show what makes people talk about your hotel. Now that you understand why you need to have a clear brand identity, you need to develop a visual theme to your content. So right here, here's the example I want you guys to look at. It has to be pleasing to look at. Show the interesting parts, the beautiful views, the exceptional service, the spas, the gyms, the restaurants, the reasons why people want to stay at your hotels. Social media gives you the power to do this like that. Now let's get started with the content. What are the strategies you should use to differentiate yourself? Well, use your customers to generate content for you. How, you may ask? Well, first, have something that makes them want to post your hotel to their socials. Whether that is stories, pictures, videos, this could be some sort of incentive, like a free candy if they post a story and tag you, a free water if they post a picture outside your hotel, or you can just ask them if they wouldn't mind posting you to their social media. Then repost it to your pages. Not only is this really simple, it's basically reposting people's word of mouth, and user-generated content is one of the best ways to generate new customers through social media. But of course, this can't be your main focus. Your main priority needs to be to provide value to your audience. This leads me to my next point. Use short videos and slideshows to give people free value. For example, use ideas like how to find a hotel for me, or most important things to look up before you travel, or why you need to triple check your booking. Because the thing about organic social media growth is you want to give the audience as much free value from you as possible. Why? Well, because most companies only want to sell on social media, and people don't like being sold to, which is why they don't grow. But the ones that give free value do, so give free value, and then give more free value, and then give even more free value. And you can sometimes ask your audience to buy something from you, but remember to do it very rarely. You don't want to use up all the goodwill you've built up, and you want them to come to you, not you to come to them. The next part of creating interest around you would be to build a community. Use polls, questions, and quizzes in stories to engage your audience and gather feedback which you can later use to become even better. You can host giveaways or contests to encourage interaction and increase your reach. And remember that engagement is a two-way street. Make sure to respond to comments and messages promptly, creating a dialogue with your followers. And please personalize the responses to create a connection. Avoid the generic replies we all know and hate. Always respond with something that makes them want to respond back. Something I like to do is always end with a question. Then you can also do partnerships. You can partner up with influencers whose audience aligns with your target demographic. You can also collaborate with local businesses for cross-promotions, showcasing the local experiences alongside your recommendations. And the saying that teamwork makes the dream work really has something to do, really has some very valuable meaning here when it comes to especially social media, I believe. And now we come to the fun part. How do you create content? Whether it's a video with someone speaking, a picture attached with a text, an article, or your newsletter, use what I call the barbell script. The amount of effort you put in should not be relative to how much the given piece of content contains, but to how important it is relative to the piece of content. So, if we look at a barbell, your amount of effort should not be distributed 50-50 between the first half of the video or article and the latter half, but 90% of your effort should be focused on the beginning. And 90% of that 90% should be focused on the first 3 seconds or the first sentence. This is because people's attention span isn't very short nowadays. It's extremely short. You need to catch people's attention. That's your ticket into the match. Because it doesn't matter how good your video or article is if nobody watches more than 3 seconds or reads more than 1 sentence. So please focus on the hook, and I want you guys also to write this down because this is very important. If no one watches more than 3 seconds of your video or reads more than 1 sentence of your article, it isn't worth anything. And a little bonus before I'm going to be wrapping up. Use ManyChat. It's a tool that automates replies and DMs. It's currently the best tool when it comes to social media marketing to take your audience and make them into customers. Also, it works absolutely the best on Instagram, where it's just it's a life hack that changes everything. Now, Let's summarize everything. Your hotel's social media should be a reflection of its unique identity and the experiences it offers. You should differentiate with creative content. You should build a loyal community through engagement, and do not be afraid to experiment with innovative approaches. Remember, on social media, you're not just selling rooms, you're selling an experience. Make your hotel the dream destination that everyone wants to be a part of. And don't forget the hook. Also, I'm going to be giving away something for free. For the first 10 people to contact me, I'll give you a free consultation, or whatever you want to call it, on how we can make your social media stand out and be better with a concrete action plan to implement. So just write me a message to my email that you're interested, or just drop a message here in the chat saying, "Hey Mike, I'm interested. Here's my email. Please contact me," and we'll sort you out. Thank you for listening to me. I hope you learned something new.
Sure did, Michael. And yes, talking about this, the chat or Q&A, please ask questions to us. You do still have the possibility. But before we go into that, let's go into Kim.
Yes, thank you. So, yes, my name is Kim Spolén. I'm working as Regional Director for Clock PMS. And for those of you who don't know Clock PMS, we are one of the largest PMS vendors in the EMEA. I'm working with the Nordic and the Baltic specifically. Have a background in hotel and have worked in this, for basically ever and ever, I would say. Digital marketing is, of course, one of my favorite subjects, but I decided for some reason to look at it from the outside this time, since it's so much. And part of what I'm saying have already been said, but I will do it from a bit of the outside. So let's go. So I decided for some stupid reason to talk about digital marketing for dummies in 7 minutes. That, of course, is a total impossibility. So maybe I should have instead called it digital marketing by dummies for the very intelligent audience that should know this already. But still, this is how I decided to do it. And to make it in some kind of way that you could bring out the best part of it, I've divided it into 2 areas. We will go through the definitions of digital marketing to start with. And after that, the second part will be about some do's and also some don'ts of what you should not do. The key components, the buzzword that I use often, but in this case, I would actually rather call it, this is your toolbox. These are the tools you have to use for, or some of them, of course, there are more, but some of the main tools that you can use for digital marketing. And with them, you can come out with, hopefully, the outcome that you want. We start with the first one, the search engine optimization. Keywords is, of course, one of the main things we think about when we think about digital marketing. And typically, the on-page optimization, what words you have, what keywords, what meta words you have on your page. But you should not forget, actually, the off-page optimization, meaning who is giving to you, who we are linking to you. What you need, what's based on what to connect to this is, of course, the pay-per-click. Where you decide to be visible. Google Ads, of course, the biggest one. You should not forget Bing, etc., etc. But you should start with looking at your target, because if you don't have a target to everything, you're just throwing money out into the blind. I agree with previous speakers saying that social media, yes, it's the big way of creating feelings for, because your Facebook, your main page is always more the main information, but you're creating the feelings and you're creating the community on your social media. And that is done with the content marketing. The content marketing is where you create something, storytelling, how people should feel. Because if they don't feel for you, they will not interact with you, they will not book with you. So it all comes down to the storytelling and why they should interact with you. The ugly duckling in the set here is, of course, email marketing. Everyone hates email marketing. But with the right email list and the knowledge of when and to send what. You can avoid the bad will, and it can be very efficient actually, but there are a lot of downsides in email marketing, so you should be careful. Even more important is to, I call it mobile marketing, but you could also say the understanding of the different platforms, that the same content should be visible equally good on a PC, on a surfpad, or on a smartphone. And it's a huge difference if you see it large or if you see it really small. This is like one of the main things. I'll come back to that. And last, where you should start, analytics. Because if you don't know what you want to take out of it, you cannot never come in afterwards and say, oh, I would like to know how much of this, what happened, did we change this, did we have more of that? No, this is where you should start. What I want to have out of my campaign, then you start to see what you want to do. Okay, so some of the common mistakes. Yeah, mobile optimization. Just an example, on my vacation 2 weeks ago in Germany, I wanted to book a hotel room in where we were, me and my wife, and I found the web page. I wanted to book directly there. I found the room, but I could not find the booking button. Not until I switched from my smartphone to the PC because it was optimized. You couldn't see even the booking button. Not tracking, yes. As already said, if you start in the wrong end, you will just end up with doing a lot of things without really having the possibility to measure what you did. It's like, yes, as I said, throwing out money into darkness and not seeing where it ended up. You must know what you want to achieve from what your media campaign. Don't ignore social media, as already said, yes, because you want to create feelings. That's how you engage with people, and that's done via typically social media. Facebook is largest, but depending on who you are, if you're a millennial or a baby boomer, you should know where you find your customers. Don't just throw out things everywhere. You should point it to the right kind of audience. And also, last but not least, creating low quality content. Because if you are not, that is affecting how they see you. If you do things, use bad pictures and do it sloppy, it will affect how people see you and your product. So you must have the same quality on everything you do as you think your product is. On the upside, you must, how you do it well? Well, you must, of course, be knowing your trends, because what was good yesterday is not always good today. You must always seeing the latest trends on the market and try even to be ahead of the trends. You should try something that people haven't even tried before, because if you're doing what your competitor is doing, you will always be left behind. So you should be trying instead to experiment and try new things. Don't be afraid, because this is something you can change quite quickly. That's a good thing about digital marketing, because it can change really, really quickly instead of the printed material. So try something no one had done instead of copying what others have done for ages already. And that is connected to, you must know your target, because everything you put out on any kind of marketing, you must know, who am I looking for? And it's a huge difference if it's for younger people, for older people, for the traveler, and where they also will be met with this message. Are they already out traveling, as I mentioned, or are they sitting and planning at home? And last but not least, be patient and be persistent. Don't give up. Try something else. There are so many different possibilities. So if this didn't work, try that instead, or something else. And I said, try to be ahead of the trends. Don't follow trends, be ahead of trends instead. Try something new that no one had done before. That's where you find a new audience, actually. So the key takeaway from this, stay updated on the trends, be ahead of the trends, be patient, be persistent, don't give up, do something else instead, use high quality content. That's really, really important. And last but not least, don't forget what you want to track. Don't come afterwards and say, oh, I want to know what happened. Too late. You should have decided that before you even started. So with that said, I would say thank you. And 7 minutes is not very much. There's a real digital dummies for marketing for dummies. It's an excellent book. Read it if you want to know much, much more than I could put together in just these small 7 minutes. But still, it's a big subject. It's an important subject. And thank you. So, okay, huge subject and in very few minutes, and of course, totally impossible. If you want to hear more, if you want to know what we are doing, what we can help you with, this is my contact details. I'm on LinkedIn and basically every other social media available. So just reach out and happy to catch up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kim, for this. Really nice summarization of digital marketing, and you got it right within 7 minutes. Now let's see if we can maybe just like have a little bit of discussion about what we've been hearing the last, well, a bit over half an hour. Once again, to the participants, if you have any questions, now's your time to speak. Just use the chat or the Q&A, whatever you want, whatever suits you best. I think, first of all, maybe let's go to Marcus, because, well, dynamic inventory, it sounds really nice. It sounds really exciting, but how does this fit within the tech stack? Are property management systems already just like ready for these kinds of new ways of selling your rooms?
Yeah, so thanks for that question, Anna-Marie. Now you can think of it as it's a modular, it's a module for an PMS system. Now, not every PMS system is ready to or has the right APIs which we need to integrate that dynamic inventory approach. I would say, as a rule of thumb, cloud-based PMSs are more advanced in open APIs, and that is the critical starting point. To your point, if you talk about a legacy system, and I'm not, obviously, let's say there's some, not on this call, basically, some other players, legacy systems, which are not even cloud-based yet, or in specific countries, those are not, and don't have even open APIs or at all APIs, those guys are not ready to use dynamic inventory. But obviously, we do have property management systems. We are live with a couple hundred properties. So basically, it's possible, it's live, and it's very real.
So Kim, I think Clock PMS is able to handle these kinds of inventory sellings.
Yes, absolutely. If we not connected to Garvendi yet, I'm not 100% sure. But we have, I would say, probably one of the most open APIs on the market. I think we are the only vendor that actually have published absolutely everything on our webpage, including how to do it, etc., etc. So if anyone's interested, just go into our webpage and you find absolutely everything about how to connect to us. Everything there, every single document available. And we just want to be interacting with as many of the most splendid other colleagues on the market as possible.
So there's a conversation between Kim and myself later on, how we can pursue that.
Let's do that. Let's catch up afterwards. Yes, excellent.
Available tomorrow, probably. Yeah. Christoph, then but from a marketing point of view, do you think that this is a good way to go?
I mean, everything was helping the guests to find what he's currently looking at. I think it's very good initiative, and this is something we are seeing more and more. So I think here what they are doing is answering also demand, not only from the demand side, but also from the guest side. So it's definitely smart. And when it's come to digital marketing, we are pushing more and more experiences because this is why people tends to buy. We have seen since a couple of years that the level of travel is not going down, but people are more and more now often looking for experiences rather than only for a room. So it definitely makes sense, and we are supporting a lot of clients promoting these experiences rather than just a room night.
Maybe just to step in here, even in every presentation we've seen from Mikhail, Kim, Christoph, everybody talked about differentiation, selling experiences, being different, right? And I think that just adds to that. It's just another enabler to empower that, right?
Exactly. Not copying what already is done, but trying to do something. Be ahead. Don't be follower. Be a leader. I think in this. That's why digital marketing can be different, because when you work with traditional slower kind of marketing, you need to work on a slower pace, on the longer terms. But this way, it's really simple to try something out and see if it's working. If it's not working, okay, let's try something else instead. It is throw it out, see what's happening. Does it find your focus group? If if it was a miss, okay, let's try to tweak it, do it slightly different. Try and try again.
Yeah. Now I think, I mean, the hotel participants here are thinking like, I'm never going to have the time to do this. But Michael, let me go to you because I think, well, you're the 19-year-old expert in the panel. So you, I mean, how much do you use, how do you find hotels? Let me if I put it that way.
How do I find hotels? What do you mean?
If you want to go on a holiday and you think, well, I want to stay in a hotel, what makes you or your generations like go for a specific hotel?
Well, first of all, what makes me decide on the destination? Because, and that's where the influence of social media, I believe, lies the most. When I see like 1,000 different destinations, I pick and I search up on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on Google, everywhere. And then I reach one destination, say I want to go to Portugal. Okay, now I start looking at hotels in Portugal, and then I use Instagram and Facebook to find the different hotels alongside with Google. So I believe that every media channel that exists should be utilized.
There's another thing that I hear quite a lot of times. It's like, okay, do you have to use Facebook and Instagram? You say Facebook is still the largest social channel, but how often do you need to just like post anything there? And maybe also, do you know what time would be best to post anything there?
Well, it depends. It depends on how aggressively does a company or account want to grow. If you want to, let's say, take Instagram for an example, where you have posts, you have swipes, you have stories, and you have reels and lives. You should have a balanced output of all of them. And would that be like 5 stories a day, one reel, 4 days a week? And it's something that should be posted every day. And depending on the output you want and depending on the growth you want, because the more you do, the more you learn, the better you get, the more you should post. So the limit, I think the limit on Instagram goes around like 2-3 posts a day, and it's essentially unlimited stories that's available. So test the important thing is to test things, and the times are, there are some at night, somehow at night actually does really well. Posting at night does really well in Europe especially, but it also depends on what type of content you do. You should take different times. Say you have 24 posts in 1 month that are equal in pretty much everything, and then you line them up every hour of the day for every day, and then you get the somewhat understanding of what performs the best.
And just to jump in on the social media, because we do a lot of activities as well on social media, mainly on the ad space. We have global activities, and we run a benchmark on the importance of social media. And what we have found is like social media is the strongest channels for influence and inspiration. 77% of customers are using social media to get inspiration, as Michel was saying, to find a new destination, to find activities he wants to do somewhere, and then to find the experience you will find in a specific hotel. So when you are thinking about social media, it will be definitely helping the users to get inspired by your hotel. So it will trigger the aspiration of those users who wants to go to your hotel.
One point here, maybe in general for the hospitality. I mean, there's an opportunity to attract maybe different types of people, because creating good content is the difficulty, right? So and constantly creating that. And I think maybe we need some type of content creator or producer already in the hotels, which is almost like the next generation of concierge, basically talking and producing great content on those different channels. And I think that's what many hotels are struggling with. Obviously, they don't have the right talent, they don't have the creation of that, and putting in some crap content or some stupid ads will not move the needle. But creating some good content and authentic and so on, that works very well in social media. But who has the time? Who has the right talent to do this? But I think there may be a new opportunity for our industry here to say we have revenue managers, we have this, we have that, but maybe we need content producers or creation producer or concierge, whatever we call that position. But it's a new opportunity to attract maybe different talents as well.
Yeah, I think you're quite right. And if you look at hotels and how they use social media, I think there's just like you have this brand that just like uses it very, very, very well, or not at all, and there's hardly anything in between. But I find that it's good for you to say, and I think it's a good idea actually, Marcus. It's like have a content creator or just like a concierge. Kim, you being the old concierge in this.
Yes, I would like to, exactly. I think it's actually, I haven't heard before. I think it's an excellent idea. I think the concierge could be the perfect person because that's the person who meets the guest really and understands what's happening in the hotel. I think the concierge could actually really be the perfect. I think it's a splendid idea. I think a lot of hotels should think about that the concierge is the person who knows the heart of the hotel and could create a lot of things. I also would like to connect back to what you said, Anne-Marie, about don't having time to do all of these fancy. So I would like once again to take one of my most important messages. It's really time to take down the barrier between sales and marketing. It is the same. And if you have a salesperson, that person should also be a marketing person. It's no time to have salespeople that don't think that marketing is their thing or that it's unnecessary. I need to be on the road all the time and do this and that. I don't have time to. If you don't do marketing, then you don't have time for doing sales. Either you have a 100% full hotel, then it's fine. Then you don't have a problem. You don't want to create, you don't need to create marketing. But if you don't have a 100% full hotel, there is time to do marketing.
Yeah, I think from a revenue perspective, we also say the same. It's like you cannot, for a revenue manager, you cannot say I have no understanding of marketing or sales, because I mean all these three people or three departments, they're intertwined, and even more so in
They are, exactly, and that's why that's why everyone should have the basic understanding. Of course, you don't need to spend hours a day. Maybe just half an hour or something every day on this.
I think that there's also this thing, and I know that there are a lot of hoteliers like watching at this moment and think I don't have a concierge, but I think it's using the resources right. I mean, we are in a time where we have a lack of people working in the industry.
Yes.
There's a lack of time, but I think also we are in an era where we have a lot of good technology. Which makes it very easy, which can just like optimize the hotel operations quite well. And I think that there's also an opportunity for hotels, just like see how you can find time and just like settle for something that's very important. Because yeah, I agree with all of you, marketing, but also the use of social media is just like an incredibly good thing, and it doesn't have to take millions of hours. You need to take like the interest of it.
There are a lot of really good tools out there nowadays that can do a lot of it. If you just give them the right, this is what I want to achieve. There are a lot of good tools out there that can help you do it. Yes.
And here, this is how Google came with a solution of Google Performance Max for Travel. I was mentioning in my presentation. So you were sharing that, yeah, indeed, lack of resources, lack of budget to cover specific markets. So Google recently came with the Google Performance Max for Travel Goals, which is a solution developed specifically for hotels, where basically the AI will work on the targeting, will work on the ad creation, so generating content, text, video, and images. build everything, and basically will allow the hotel to advertise on all their channels. It's pretty new. We have implemented in now a bit less than 100 hotels, and results are very, very interesting. So we strongly believe that the social media such as Facebook, Instagram will come up with solution to help also hotels to create their content in order for them to better target and better advertise. Because when we are thinking about marketing at Sendine, either marketing can help you to grow from 80% occupancy to 90% occupancy rates, but also a lot goes into fighting against OTAs, where here you have, let's say, like simple strategy which can be applied with not a lot of resources, and of course a lot of agencies are out there to help you doing it, Sendine being one of them. But this is two different things you need to think about marketing. The marketing was going to help you to grow your occupancy rate, and definitely social media is a must, because it inspires a lot and gets you a lot of new traction. PMax being also one of them. And then you have, like, let's say, like low funnel strategy, where you can also invest some euros to get very highly qualified traffic, and instead of going through OTAs, to have this book direct through your official booking page.
Yeah, thank you. Very valid. We got a comment from Arzana saying that they use Fromdesk to produce content on social media, I presume. And I think, yeah, completely right. It's like everybody at the hotel can be your social media advertiser. And I like what you said, Michael, how you find hotels, what your customer journey is, because what we think is that we go to Google, and then on Google we find hotels, and then therefore we need the OTAs. But that's not the way you look. You look at a destination, and you use social media in order to get inspired in which hotel you want to book, and that is a thing.
Yeah, well, when it comes to the destination searching, I believe that it's most people either consciously or subconsciously somehow find the destination first, and then obviously they start looking for hotels. And if I can take it back to what Kim was saying about social media tools like ManyChat, which I took up in my presentation, are, I would essentially say, they're hacks for making it easier, because they can take away hours of time from your work if you just automate it, and it's great. I recommend everyone to use it, and that's just one of them. There's thousands of these tools. There's thousands of editing tools that leverage AI and leverage these tools to make social media something that doesn't need to take up all your time.
No, I think so. And a lot of these tools are either for free or just like don't really cost that much. But then also what we need to understand about the hotel industry, anything that they invest in is seen as a cost, but you should always try to make anything into a return on investment. And these are very important things to put your money in. Or, well, you can always just like be dependent on OTAs, of course. What I like with what all of you are saying is we are going into an experience economy. Actually, there are words saying into we're not going the experience. The customers are not into experience anymore, but in transformation. So how can my journey transform myself into a better person? But yeah, experiences, and I think most of you, or all of you, just took up the quality of pictures. So does any one of you have a best practice? Because what you see on hotels are pictures from rooms. You need to show the room, of course. When you want to sell it, you need to show what it looks like. But then that does not really make me inspired to go to a hotel. But also, it's like it does not show an experience. Do you know what kind of pictures work best?
Yeah, well, if I can tie it back to what I told about cross partnerships with companies, local companies in your area, you can create a partnership where you show their experiences through your socials, and then accompany it with your accommodations. And most hotels also obviously the rooms are very important for people to see, but most hotels also have something else, whether it's spas, pools, restaurants, gyms, views. There is usually something, at least at the hotels I've been, that have something extra that they can show alongside the rooms.
Maybe I can weigh in a little bit, because that's kind of the area we do research in and also trying out a lot. It depends, of course, your travel profile, right? I'm getting triggered if I'm needing a business trip or I'm looking for something, I have to go to a destination, then I'm triggered by different things, depending on why I'm traveling, with whom I'm traveling, subject to if it's a leisure or vacational trip. So there's already a difference in terms of what kind of images trigger me. But in general, what we learned is emotionalized images. But what is an emotionalized image, right? That's a different discussion for different customers. Are much better and trigger much better than just more cold images of a room or something like that. But there could be emotional images of a room, right? So, and as I said, when I'm going on a business trip, maybe it's important for me to see that there is a desk in the room, or that the bed is large, or something like that. So there's a functional element to this. But when I'm looking for a vacation, etc., maybe I want to see the sunset and beautiful things and whatever. So it's a very different thing I'm looking at. So I think there's no clear answer to this. It always depends on travel profile, context, what type of product are you selling, and who you're trying to reach. But in general, you want to stand out from the crowd. I think that's always been true. You want to be different than your competitor. And as I said, emotionalization works better than, I would say, standardization. Now that's at least what we can say from our perspective. And to add to this point, what you say, experience or destination comes first. Sometimes the experience is a destination, right? If I'm looking for a great rejuvenation weekend, I don't care if it's in there or there or there. I'm just looking for that type of experience. Where can I find it? Or I'm looking for, in principle, it's the same thing for summer vacation. Or if I'm looking for beach vacation, then all of a sudden I can go to Greece, to Spain, or to different kind of destinations to get this beach experience. So it's a little bit tied together, subject to what you're looking for.
I completely agree with you, Marcus. And the importance of knowing your target audience is, like, it's the most important thing you can do in marketing. If you don't know who you're marketing to, it just lands on deaf ears. And to your point that yes, people want to differentiate themselves, but also something that I believe a lot of people skip is looking at their competitors, what's doing well, and just do it better. If one of my competitors does something and I see, okay, that's doing well, I can look at it and say, okay, I can do this 10 times better. And that's also, that's another thing people skip around when they say, yeah, we want to be different. Yes, you want to be different, but you also want to be way better than the competition. Because the only way you win is to blow them out of the water. And you can do that by being so good, they can't say anything to you.
No, but then here I am. I've opened a hotel, bed and breakfast hotel. It's just like, it's a good enough hotel. But I want to work with Instagram. I want to work with any of the social channels. But what do I have to? What can I do when I'm just like a normal hotel, bed and breakfast? Because there's quite a number of these as well, and rightfully so.
To take, yes, engaging pictures, and I just want to follow up. It's a bit on this, but also a good picture. Typically, if we don't talk about social media, but of photography, the best rule is always go closer. Instead of trying to capture everything, the engaging picture is when you go in detail. You should always go closer, and instead of taking a picture of the whole building, maybe you take a photo of the door or the window or some small detail you found some there, because that's an engaging picture. We have a tendency of trying to capture everything in one picture, and that is never ever engaging. So if you want to be engaging, go in detail. That's the first thing you learn if you work with photography, is always go closer. And that goes also for any kind. If you are a bed and breakfast, you can take pictures of your breakfast, be engaging of the staff. We are the persons working here. We are normal people. Be engaging in that. You don't have to be fancy. There's always a story to tell. Bed and breakfast have their own story. They're fantastic. I were at this hotel in Germany then 2 weeks ago. It was this elderly lady who took care of everything. She didn't have time for any staff. She did everything basically from reservations, checking in. She closed at 5 o'clock because she couldn't afford, or she couldn't be there any longer. But it was her, and her story in itself was fantastic. There are so many fantastic. You don't have to be in the fancy, in the big one. Take the small, take the details, take the personal.
So right, so right. But you know what? It's 4:05. So it's about the end of the webinar. Any one of my speakers that has anything interesting to say that we have not talked about today yet? I take that as a no.
I think we could keep this conversation going for a couple more hours, but
Yeah.
since the time has gone,
I'd love to know more about Google Performance Match, but I think maybe let's spend a webinar on that part, because I think it's a very important thing that actually just like could help hotels if they understand how to work with it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's plan it.
Yes. Well, okay. End of the webinar. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you had an enjoyable little bit over an hour. Next webinar will be on the 17th of October. And the topic of that webinar will be the Hospitality Circle, Mastering Online and Offline Distribution and Feeling Good Price. Well, how is that going to be? We're going to have speakers from Vertical Booking, Simple Booking and Rateboard, and they are all part of Zucchini Hospitality. We hope you can join us again, 17th of October. We will send a recording of the webinar as soon as possible. Now, for participants in Scandinavia, I hope you're still there, because we return to Copenhagen, Gothenburg and Stockholm with our Revenue Forum seminars on the 10th to the 12th of September. As said previously, Revenue Forum seminar currently runs in 12 cities in 10 countries, and it's for hoteliers who want to spend a half day of inspiration and networking, and it's totally free of charge. You can find all the information about our seminars and webinars on our website, revenueforum.net. Last but certainly not least, on the 30th of January 2025, we will hold our next Global Revenue Forum event again. This is really a unique and hybrid event held simultaneously in Stockholm, London, Milan, as well as online, and probably also again Lisbon next time. So how does this work? We stream the most important parts to each other. So when the keynote speaker in London enters the scene, he or she is also visible live for my audience in Stockholm, for the audience in Milan, of course for the audience in London, they're there, but also online. And online you can just like watch the whole day and you can see what happens in plenary room in all our cities. Now, if you would like to come to the Stockholm edition, we have a fantastic book early offer for 2,500 Swedish kroners, and that's around 230 euros. Swedish kroner is at this moment just like incredibly low compared to euro. It's all ex-VAT, and we offer a full day of inspiration. If you want to have this lower rate, just like book the latest on the 15th of September. That was all from us today. Hope to meet you on the next webinar or on one of the seminars or events and we organize. Thank you very much to our speakers, Christoph Pereira, Marcus Muller, Mikael Woloch, and Kim Spolén for your inspiration. I learned a lot today, so thank you. Thank you as well to my colleague, Johanna Aline. You haven't been seeing her, but she's been taking care of the organization of the webinar and for handling of all the presentations. Last but not least, thank you all participants. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for participating. This is also why we organize it. Oh, I think that's the end for today, right? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
thank you guys for listening, and thank you guys for the pleasant discussion and the presentations.
Thank you so much.
Great seeing
Bye.
you all.